Today is June 12th, 2021. This is Mordecai, host of the updates, bringing you your daily Elden Ring update. There is a bit of news about Elden Ring today. Earlier today, the head of marketing at From Software, Yasuhiro Kitao, tweeted out the following message. "We can't thank you enough for all the feedback and reactions. It's always a huge boost for the development team. Everyone here is working hard to deliver a deep, enjoyable RPG experience." And he attached a screenshot, which seems to be of a beetle in some area in the game. I think this image confirms what we've all been waiting for. Elden Ring is a Bugsnax sequel. But in all seriousness, I've also been loving the community's reactions to the trailer. I'm still in shock myself, but I've watched it so many times over the last 2 days that I wanted to give some thoughts and opinions on certain parts of it today. Firstly, the trailer starts off with what seems to be the maiden/firekeeper NPC of the game. She has a very calm and serene voice, which almost seems to be a requirement of the firekeeper characters in their games. To me, they sound like the voice actress of Yorshka from Dark Souls 3, Martha McIntosh. Here's a side-by-side comparison.
The tarnished will soon return, guided by grace, once lost. I am Yorshka, captain of the Dark Moon Knights. What beckoned thee to such a place?
She also voiced one of the main characters of the Game of Thrones Telltale video game. And that just made me hopeful that we may have one of the Game of Thrones TV cast members voice an NPC in Elden Ring. It just depends how much they want to market the George R.R. Martin aspect of the game. So, I wonder if she is the new level up lady, or perhaps someone who introduces you to the world of Elden Ring at the very start of the game. Another important character is this many-armed man, who the OG fans remember as 11 Queen. I think they're more significant than just a boss in the game though. The E3 2019 trailer had them as one of the first shots, and this trailer gave him dialogue, a badass weapon, and a cool looking screenshot. He kind of reminds me of King Aerys Targaryen, the Mad King. The silver hair, broken body, golden crown, and aggressive attitude are all parallel to the Mad King. He was a king of Westeros in A Song of Ice and Fire, who was eventually killed by a member of his own king's guard as he was a menace to his own kingdom. And perhaps that's what we're doing in this boss fight, freeing the citizens of this kingdom from the shackles of tyranny and becoming an Elden Lord ourselves. Or just a Kingslayer. Yet another familiar yet significant character is a Valkyrie. It seems like she's a boss in the game as well, and one who's not even using a traditional sword, but rather just a blade. Though she can still do decent damage with it looks like. If you look closely, it looks like the Erd tree appears on her cape as well, so perhaps she's one of the demigods. Another character that is of significance, but not mentioned in the trailer, is Queen Marika the Eternal. I believe this is her in this shot, and she's supposed to be the ruler of the lands between, according to the press release. Now, out of everything in the trailer, I believe this one has the most parallels to Game of Thrones. Visually, it looks just like Queen Cersei and her bodyguard, the Mountain, aka Sir Robert Strong. Not only that, but according to the game description, Queen Marika's children claimed the shards of the Elden Ring known as the Great Runes, and the mad taint of their new strength caused a war, the Shattering. Similarly, all of Cersei's children die in Game of Thrones, 2 of whom meet their demise after gaining power to the Iron Throne and becoming king. All of which, of course, led to the Long Night, the war between humanity and the White Walkers. You can argue both the Shattering and the Long Night involve the abandonment by the Greater Will. It's also worth noting that Queen Cersei ruled King's Landing, and Queen Marika rules Lands Between. Coincidence? I think not. Though, I think my mind is making all these Game of Thrones connections because I've been waiting for the Winds of Winter for a decade, and this game is as close to that as I'm ever gonna get. George, if you're watching this, please finish the books. Before I move on from this scene though, there's one more thing. If you look at the portrait of the king in the background, it may seem familiar. It looks eerily similar to this character from the concept art leak we got a few months ago. Go watch the video on that if you missed it. I think the concept piece is his boss/enemy form, or whenever we will encounter him in the game. It's probably something similar to King Vendrick from Dark Souls 2. I think you can see why this was my favorite shot in the trailer now. There's just so much here. But aside from the characters, a particular part of the gameplay caught my attention as well. The summoning. I really like how your spirit horse just spawns on your character. It's very convenient and a good contrast with other games that have mounted gameplay where you call your horse and it spawns somewhere in the nearby vicinity. This just makes it quick and seamless, though I wonder what the restrictions are on being able to summon your mount. Perhaps you can only do it in outdoor areas, or there may be a cooldown if it gets killed. The other summoning aspect that I found interesting is this item you use to summon other players. It seems to be some cube-like otherworldly structure, perhaps this game's version of the White Sign Soapstone or Beckoning Bell. And it appears that you can summon more than just other players with it. Check out this screenshot, where the player character appears to summon some sort of bird for help. The bird and the cube both have the same purple glowy effect around them, which makes me wonder, how are they going to explain the lore behind summoning and invading? My guess would be that it has something to do with you being a tarnished being. Perhaps killing another tarnished player will get you closer to becoming an Elden Lord, or godhood. Maybe this game's version of becoming Embered. The PvP fights could also be a reference to the trial by combat in Game of Thrones. Alright, I'll stop with the Game of Thrones references for now. But I seriously still cannot believe George R. R. Martin wrote for a From Software game. I don't know if they will market that further after the disaster that was the last few seasons of the show, but we shall see. Anyway, these were my biggest takeaways from the gameplay trailer. There's obviously a lot more going on in it, but that's what I found most intriguing at the moment. I've frankly not slept much over the last 2 days, just thinking about everything that's been transpiring, and this is all very exciting to me. But anyway, this has been your daily Elden Ring update for June 12th, 2021.